page turners for a board book. And why I've created this is because I saw a need for a little girl at my field work who had a diagnosis of Down syndrome. So she was unable to turn the pages of the book independently. She'd just become frustrated and throw the book down, even though she expressed interest in the toy by picking it up. So I thought this would help her become a little bit more successful. As you can see, I've added some stickers to the end, and the reasoning behind this was so that she could practice her pincer grasp. So I would direct her to the smiley face, and she would be able to squeeze the smiley face and open it. Now, I probably wouldn't start with that with her. I would tell her to slip her fingers, all of her fingers underneath, and open the book in that fashion in order to build a little bit more in-hand manipulation and holding the book, and then move into the grasps. I think it's also possible to use a lateral pinch if she uses the side of her finger instead, and that would be okay. If you open the book, you can see that there is packing tape here, which is clear, so it's not going to distract the child, and it's really hard to pick off, so it's pretty durable and sturdy. I think also, if this wasn't the case for this particular child, but if you had a child that was unable to use their index finger, you could also use this adaptation to open the book with your index finger. I created this adaptation because I recognized that a little girl in my fieldwork was unable to perform an occupation that she was expressing interest in. In this case, it was looking at a book. It may not sound like much, but looking at a book is very important for a child in several terms of development, in language development, in learning new concepts, in fine motor. So obviously in this case, we want this little girl to be able to be successful in turning the pages of a book, whether it would be through using a pincer grasp or a lateral pinch, just building her in-hand manipulation skills. All of these things will be important for her to build on as she gets older. So looking at books now and using this adaptation will help to build her strength in her hand and fingers and develop her grasps into a more mature pattern. This toy adaptation would be most useful for young children, probably around 18 months to 3 years of age, considering it's a board book. I think that it's not limited to just using with children with physical disabilities like I did with the Down syndrome, or a child with cerebral palsy that might have hypo or hypertonia. I think it's a great adaptation to use for children just learning or struggling with fine motor issues to turn the pages. It's really pretty universal, and I think that the therapist or teacher or parent could easily use this adaptation if they recognize a developmental delay, and it would be a really good way to encourage those fine motor skills. The supplies needed to create this adaptation at home would be to use a board book, some mini stickers, popsicle sticks, and packing tape. And those are just what I decided to use for my adaptation. There's other things that you could use, maybe a glue gun to make it a little bit more durable and permanent. I chose to use packing tape because I thought it would be a good idea for parents to understand how to adapt books at home for their child. So if they just have a roll of tape handy, they can easily and quickly add popsicle sticks to their child's book. Additionally, I thought that when we use tape, that you have the ability to remove the sticks after, and your books can become a little bit more challenging. So you can still grade the activity. As the child progresses, you can once again return to the normal turning of the pages.